It would have been real nice. Luke 11, I'm glad to see each and every one of you. If we have any first-time guests on this morning, we're grateful and thankful that you came to hang with us in the old warehouse all the way in Las Colinas, Texas. If you're there, say there. If not, you're just going to have to catch up next week. Now, Jesus was praying in a certain place, and when he finished, one of his disciples said to him, "Lord, teach us to pray," as John taught his disciples. And he said to them, "When you pray, say, Father, hallowed be your name, your kingdom come. Give us each day our daily bread, and forgive us our sins, for we ourselves forgive everyone who is indebted to us, and lead us not into temptation." Before you see that, I'm going to read from the King James Version. I believe that's what I sent to them. "And it came to pass," just the first two verses, our focus verses is verse 2, one phrase. "And it came to pass that as he was praying in a certain place, when he ceased, one of his disciples said unto him, Lord, teach us to pray, as John also taught his disciples. And he said unto them, when ye pray, say," this is our focus, two words, "Our Father." You may be seated. I want to tag today's message, Our Father. Somebody shout, Our Father. Our Father. So last week we kicked off this series, Deeper, and our thesis statement for this series, if you weren't here, write it down. If you were here, write it down again so you'll remember it. If you want to go deeper in God, more is required. Somebody shout that. If you want to go deeper in God, more is required. I'll pay for the person who wants to get that tattooed on their arm. If you want to, I'll get that tattooed on your arm for you. I'll pay for it. I'll fund that mission, that ministry work for you if you want that. But that's the thesis statement for our entire series. If you want to go deeper in God, more is required. God is grateful that we are where we are in our relationship with Him. But guess what? There's more. There's another side of God. There's another season with God. There's another level with God. And we use the illustration that's the face of this series. That you see the water is that when you go snorkeling, there's only so much that you can see. And it's beautiful when you go snorkeling. You can still see the pretty fish if you go to the right spot. You can still see some nice coral reefs, but there's only so far that you can see down. You maybe can get 20 or 30 feet deep down, but even though it's dark and even though you can't see any further than that, guess what? We still know that there's so many more levels to the depth of the sea. And as we discovered last week, that's what we believe about God. That even though we are where we are with Him, even though we've experienced so many great things with Him, the joy that we have, we believe that there's more joy, and all we have to do is go deeper to receive it. We believe that we have peace and we enjoy the peace that God has given us, but guess what? Some of us need a little more peace, and how do we get that? We go deeper. Some of us need healing issues, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally, and we believe that it's not God withholding anything from us, but anything and everything that we need, Chase, God has for us. All we need to do sometimes is just go a little deeper. If we want more of God, then guess what we're going to have to do? We're going to have to go deeper. I didn't give us the definition of prayer last week, so I'm going to give it to you this morning. It was very intentional, and even today it's going to be a little bit different. It may be rudimentary to some, but it's going to have purpose, and you'll find out why. So here's the definition of prayer. This is not my definition, but this is the actual word prayer in the Hebrew and Greek. I took them and just combined them into one. Prayer is seeking, asking, entreating, meeting with, a coming together, a conference or conversation. They got it on the screen, but somebody decided to put it so small. Okay, y'all, nobody can see that. So I'm going to read it to you so you can write it. It's okay. It's a bad day for some, okay? Seeking, somebody shout seeking. Right there. Asking, entreating, meeting with, a coming together, a conference, or a conversation. That's the Hebrew and Greek word meaning, interpretation for the word prayer. That's what it means. I love the definitions of it, the original word, because it lets us know that prayer is more than just me talking to God. That right there was a revelation for some, because the only thing that many of us have is talking to God. But that's not the bulk of prayer. That's not the entirety of prayer. Why? Because the definition says a meeting with. How many of you have meetings with yourself? Please don't raise your hand. We do have people we can refer you to, okay? Michael Jackson, I talk to myself when there is nobody else to talk to, okay? But you don't have to do that. Why? Because God says, I want to have a meeting with you. That's two people, okay? A meeting. What else? A coming together. I don't come together with myself when I pray. I'm coming together with God. A conference. How many of you at work have ever had a conference by yourself? Never. Brittany raised up, not Brittany. Conference call. How many of you had a conference call by yourself? What is it? It's two or more people. And it's never just one person talking. What is it? It's a dialogue. I think many of us have missed the dialogue piece with God. We talk to God. We tell him all about our troubles and all about our problems, and we give our requests, and then what do? We get up off our knees and we leave. How many of us actually stay there and say, God, is there anything that you want to tell me? Now, don't raise your hand, just think about it. I don't want anybody feeling all holy, like, yes, I do that, and everybody else feeling all condemned. She's so holy, he's so holy. But how many of us actually sit there after we've laid our requests, after we've shared our problems, and say, God, is there anything you want to tell me about? And I think many of us, the reason why we don't have direction is because we don't stay down long enough to hear from God. What do? We pray and say, God, tell me what to do about this situation. Tell me what to do about this relationship. Should I quit this job? Should I take this job? Should I move here? Should I join this church? And then what do? We get up and we go, and it's like, okay, God, I want the answer to that question, to those requests, but you're going to have to catch me to give it to me. We go about our day, driving to work, doing our work thing, going about our daily things that we do. And it's like, God, if you can catch me at any point in the day, just put it on a billboard or something. I don't have time to sit on my knees for 5 minutes and see if you have something to say to me. So I need you to do something special. Crack the sky. Let somebody send me a Facebook message and say, hey, I had a dream about you. Call me. God gave me a word for you. Or the preacher going to have to say it on Sunday morning. Or you need a billboard. You need a text message in disguise from an angel, because you could really just stay on your knees, and I believe God would give us so much and so many things that we actually need. So that's the definition of prayer. And my plan for part 2 was to really deal with the promises of prayer and deal with the power of prayer. But I pushed that back last weekend because God gave me something this week. He says it's pretty futile if we talk about the power of prayer, April, and we talk about the promises of prayer, and we don't see God the way that he wants us to see him. Why? Because how you view someone determines how you approach them. I got one big idea for this message. I'm going to give it to you up front. It's how you view God will determine how you approach God. Come here. Let me come here. Come here. Felix. Who else? Chase and Rashad. Come here. I'm gonna use them for an illustration. I gotta show y'all something, okay? This is gonna make sense. This is gonna make sense. I promise. You like, none of this has to do viewing God. What does that have to do with prayer? Okay. It's okay. Some of y'all understand I'm an illustrative person because, I got to make stuff make sense for me, okay? I got a GED, I'm telling y'all, so sometimes I'm slow, so I got to see stuff. So, look at that boy right there. He act like he ain't got a girlfriend. He got to be trying to get somebody. Okay, so look. Woo, look at him. What's up, boy? What it be like? Hey. Okay, so we check. What you got right there? We got a peach right there, okay? So think about it. 3 different individuals. If you didn't know any one of these men, I guarantee you, if they invited you into a room, guess what? You would approach each one of them differently, wouldn't you? Yes. Why? Because it's based on how you view them. This first one, he's a robber, right? If he invited you into the room, how many of you would actually come? not many of you, not unless you was trying to join him, like, hey, bro, let me get something in. I'm broke, I need some money. But most of us wouldn't join in would take something that was ours, right? Because that's what we associate a thief with, right? Somebody who takes things of value from us. And honestly, that's how some of us view God. Christians, believers, some of us view God as somebody who just takes from us. I know I'm in the room because God gave it to me. I know you lift your hands in worship, you serve in ministry, but at the end of the day, in the back of your mind, how you really see God is a thief and a robber. Why? Because the only thing you associate life with is things being taken from you. That's the only thing you associate life with. You look back over your last 20 years, you look back over your last 30 or 40 years, and you're like, I can never keep anything good for long because it seems like all God does is take from me. He took my mama from me. He took my daddy from me. He took my grandma from me. He took the good job I had from me. He took my car from me. He took my family from me, my boyfriend, my girl. Every good thing that I have, it seems like at some point in time, all God does is take from me. God, how in the world can you love me, yet all you do is take from me? The preacher says how good you are, how great you are, how awesome you are. He said, tell the Lord yes, but all you do is take from me. So if this is how you see God as somebody who just takes from you, what does it mean when I say God wants to invite you to the prayer room? I can't do that, Pastor. I can't see it. Why do I want to pray to a God? Why do I want to have a personal relationship with a God? Why do I want to talk to a God? Why do I want to sit on my knees talking to a God who all he does is take from me? Some of us, you see God as just a gangbanger type dude. Gangbanger, you need some muscle though. Okay, don't flex on me. But we see God, when you see a gangbanger, if he invited you to a room, how many of y'all would go? Just like that. Well, there's this fear of being beat up. You know, we think of a gangbanger and we think of somebody who's heartless, somebody who's cold, doesn't care about me, has no regard for life. And I think that's how some of us, when I'm talking to Christians, that's the point. I'm talking to Christians. We see God as somebody who's heartless, cold. He allows babies to die. How can God allow babies to die? Kids. Allows marriages to break up, homes to be broken up, allows prejudice in this world. Heartless. How would a loving God allow somebody like that to become the president who cares about nobody? But it's God. God don't have, there's no way God can have a heart. No way. He's heartless. He's mean. I know that when I do wrong, I'm always punished. Every bad thing's always happen to me. There's no way God has a caring bone in his body. And you're telling me now that there's power in prayer and God is inviting me to the prayer room? But that's how I see God, as a cold, heartless being who doesn't care about me. The blessing. Where they at? Where the blessing? They're supposed to be overflowing. I shouted on New Year's Eve. Every New Year's Eve for the past 10 years, I've been running around the church. Running around 7 times, I've been calling walls down. And ain't no walls fell in my life. Heartless God, cold God, doesn't care. But this is the view of God that we want to have. Because this dude right here, he doesn't seem approachable, does he? This dude right here, I don't feel comfortable approaching him, but how many of you in the room feel comfortable approaching this dude? How many? 1, 2? Most of us in here, right? He looks friendly, nice, dressed and tied, looking nice, and he used the sponge on his head. Got a little beard growing in, even though it won't connect right there. But he looks approachable. He looks like a family man. He looks like he could be somebody's father. He looks like somebody who cares about his children, somebody who goes to work, somebody who wants to provide for his family. He wants to make sure that his wife is taken care of, that his children are there. Can you see all of these things on the inside of him? And it would make it very easy to approach him. So today I want to paint a picture of who God really is. Because sometimes we paint our own picture of God based on our experiences in life. But KJ, our experiences don't always paint the right picture. Our experiences, the things that we went through, what happened in the relationship, what happened to my mom and dad, what happened to granny, what happened to my child, what happened to my last job, what happened to my house, my car, those don't paint the correct picture of who God really is. Satan uses those negative experiences to try to paint the picture of who God is, but that's not who really God is. That's not who God really is. So today, I want to give you a different picture because God wants to be your Father. That's who God wants to be. And Jesus made it clear when the disciples came and said, teach us how to pray. He said, the first thing I want you to say is say, our Father. Before you even start praying, I need you to know who God is. He's your Father.
Yes, this is good, Pastor.
Maybe he's not the Father that you possibly had. The one that you never saw, the one that was never there, the one that walked out on you and your mom when you were little. But God says, I'm the Father, but I'm not that. I'm bigger, better, and brighter. And I got so much more for you than any man could ever offer you on this earth. So let's get to it. All right, look at y'all give these robbers and gangbangers and okay. So let's look at this. So God wants us to see us as a father. The New Testament word father that's used in the Greek, it means nourishes, protects, and sustains. Nourishes, protects, and sustains. That's the type of God who's inviting you into the prayer room. He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants you to pray to him. So I want to give you 5 characteristics of this Father and who he really is so that you can have the correct picture and portrait of who God is. So we're on Bible study this morning. Y'all know what we do. I'm a teacher, so here we go. Number 1, God is a loving Father. Somebody shout, he's a loving Father.
He's a loving Father.
John 3 and 16. You don't have to turn to all of these verses. I have a verse for each one of these characteristics of God, but I'll give them to you. You can write them down, go back and read it later. For God so loved the world that he did what? He gave his only Son, that whoever believes in him should not what? Perish, but have eternal life. That lets us know that God is a loving Father. It doesn't matter what your experiences are. It doesn't matter what you lost when you were a child. You were on food, y'all were on food stamps and y'all got government cheese, and your daddy went to prison when you were 6 and your mom was on drugs. Guess what? None of those experiences, none of those choices that your mom made or your dad made have anything to do with who God the Father is. God the Father is a loving God, and he loved us so much that he was willing to sacrifice his own Son just so you could have an opportunity to spend eternity with him. That's how loving he is. Guess what? God's love is also unconditional. Yeah. That's crazy, right? We can't lose God's love, and we can't earn God's love. I know I'm breaking some lies of the enemy right now because every time you sin, every time you make a mistake, I'm talking to believers right now at this moment. If you're an unbeliever, I'll catch you at the end, but right now, I'm talking to believers. You make a mistake, you sin, and you can't go and talk to God because of the way you feel. You feel like he hates me because of what I did last night. He hates me because of what I did last week. Why would I even pray? I'm not even going to talk to him. I don't want to talk to him because he might say, where art thou, Adam? So what I'll do, like Adam and Eve did, Robin, I'm just going to go hide. And while I'm hiding, I'm going to hope that God didn't even come and try to talk to me because I don't want to deal with my sin. I don't want to deal with the mistakes. I don't want to hear God tell me he hates me and how disappointed he is in me. I don't want to hear that. So you know what I'll do? I just won't talk to God. I just won't pray. Because the devil's convinced me God doesn't love me. But guess what? Let me tell you the truth. God's love is unconditional. He loved us before we had an opportunity to love him. The Bible says while we were yet in our sins, that's when Christ died for us. From the beginning he loved us to the end he loved us. It's unconditional. But let me pause right here because I got to explain this, Candy. I think we missed this part. And we take it to the extreme. Guess what? Love and salvation is 2 different things. God's love and God's salvation is 2 different things. You're going to learn something today. God's love is unconditional and there are no prerequisites involved with it. But guess what? God's salvation is conditional, and it does have prerequisites. So sometimes when we use that phrase, God's love is unconditional, some of us get comfortable in our sin because we think, oh, it's all good in the hood. It really doesn't matter. But salvation and love is two different things. You don't have to have a relationship with God to love him, to be loved by him. You don't even have to believe that there is a God. And guess what? God still loves you because he loved and died for everybody. But when it comes to salvation, there are some conditions and some prerequisites. You can't just, all you have to do is exist. And guess what? Dante, you got God's love. But if you want to be saved, it requires more. So I want to make sure that we don't confuse God's unconditional love with salvation, because salvation, you got to believe, you got to receive, you got to make him the Lord of your life, you got to serve him, you got to submit unto him, okay? So yes, his love is unconditional. That's what I want to focus on, but I want to make sure there was a distinction between God's love and God's salvation. We can't earn his love, yet we can't lose his love. He's a loving Father. So you never, as a believer, have to be afraid to going to our Father, because when we do sin, when we do mess up, that's what we need to do. Go to him and ask for forgiveness. And the Bible said, if we confess our sins, then guess what? He's faithful and just to forgive us of our sins. Why in the world would he forgive me for what I did last night? Why in the world would he forgive me for what I did 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Because he's a loving Father. I always talk about the prodigal son. That's my favorite story in the Bible because I relate to him so much, because we left home. Yet when we decided to come back, where was the father? He was waiting on him. He was a loving father. He was the epitome of God in the flesh. That's what the story is about. The story is about you, the prodigal daughter, you, the prodigal son, and the father being God, the loving Father. So we can change the way we view God and change that portrait of God being somebody who doesn't care about me. Because if he did, I wouldn't have the struggles that I have right now. God doesn't care about me, because if I did, I wouldn't be jobless right now with all the applications I put. God doesn't care about me, because if he did, I wouldn't have the problems in my marriage right now. God doesn't care about me, because if he did, then my business would be off the ground right now. God doesn't care about me, because I would have never went through the divorce. If he did, God doesn't care about me, because I would have never lost my baby. I would have never lost my mom. I would have never lost my dad. I would have never lost Granny and Papa. God doesn't care about me. But God does love you regardless of what you experienced in life. So you can be confident that when you go to God in prayer, he's not some mean man that doesn't care about you, but he loves you. Somebody shout, he's a loving Father.
He's a loving Father.
Number two, he's a gracious Father. Somebody shout, he's a gracious Father. Matthew 5:45, write it down, go back and read it. So that you may be the sons of your Father who is in heaven, for he makes his sun rise on the evil and on the good, and sends rain on the just and the unjust. Let me read that again so that you see the grace. So that you may be the sons of your Father who is in heaven, for he, who is he? God. He makes his sun rise on the who? The evil and the what? And the good. So God is like, when my sun comes up in the morning, guess what? It's shining on those who serve me and those who don't. And then what? It sends rain on who? The just and the unjust. Guess what needs sun and rain? Crops. For crops to grow, for the harvest to grow, guess what? They need sun and they need rain. And God is saying, I bless evil and I bless those who do good. I bless those who serve me and I bless those who don't serve me. I bless those who deserve it and I bless those who don't deserve it. What does that speak to? It speaks to the graciousness of God. God is a gracious Father. That's the God that we serve. What is grace? The definition that we like to use here at the Link Church is grace is what? It's getting what you don't deserve. Everybody repeat that after me. Grace is getting what you don't deserve. That's who God the Father is. He's one that looks down on us, and he looks for opportunities, and he gives us the things that we don't deserve. You didn't deserve to wake up this morning. I know all we think about is money, right? That's all we think about, man. I need God to connect with me on money, man. But that's all. I don't care about nothing else. And we overlook all the things that he blessed us with. We overlook the fact that I have a portion of health.
Yeah. Amen.
I got a portion of health. How many of you in your room on your way out? You got a timeline from the doctor, KJ. How many of y'all in here? How many of y'all got 90 days? Look around the room. Not one person. But I wonder if I was to say how many of you are unhappy with your life, how many of us would raise our hand? How many of us have our right mind? Most of us, that's how you got here. How many of us with kids have healthy kids? Almost all of us. If you don't, you haven't called me and told me about it. How many of you had a roof over your head last night? Yeah, guess what? There's a lot of people that didn't. You had it, well, it wasn't mine. My name ain't on the list. That's okay. Somebody let you stay there. They were just God's grace in the flesh. But God is a gracious God. He continues day in and day out. Yeah, I know I'm not rich. I know we got bills behind. I know I don't got the best car. I don't have the best house. But that doesn't mean that God doesn't have grace on your life. Because you're still alive. Come on. If truth be told, many of us, we know that we should be dead. We know that we should have some diseases. We know that I should be in prison for the rest of my life. Me, I should be in prison for the rest of my life. Paisley should be in prison for the rest of her life. Rashad should be in prison for the rest of his life. Melvin should be in prison for the rest of his life. Casey should be in prison for the rest of her life. In April, she needs to be in prison for 2 lives for all the stuff she did. She just ain't got caught. Don't let your neighbor fool you. No, I'm just playing. Just 1 life sentence. That's all you deserve. But why are we still here then? It's because of God's grace. It's because of, KJ, it's because of God's grace. KJ, what's grace? What's grace?
Get stuff you don't deserve.
Giving me what I don't deserve. Do you deserve to be alive right now? No. What have you done to deserve that? You're like, there's no way that I went through what I went through in my life and God's grace is upon me. Yet, yes it is, because everything you went through, you survived. You got it? Everything you went through, you survived. That says God's grace is on your life. You see, I'm trying to shift the way you view God, right? Because you look at your experience and what you went through as a child, what you went through now, what you have and what you don't have, and it's hard for you to see God as one who's giving you things that you don't deserve. But yeah, you should have died with all the stuff that you went through. You should be in prison for the rest of your life because of stuff that you went through. The stuff that you went through should have gave you an excuse to go out and commit crime. That should have gave you a life sentence, but you're still here. The stuff that you went through should have put you in a crazy house, but guess where you are right now? You're in church on Sunday morning. So what does that mean? Yes, God's grace is on your life. I wish I could call all of you out and call you by name. I don't know what you went through. I don't know what you're going through right now, but there was something inside of you that pulled you to the house of God this morning, even though it was wet, even though it was cold, because God wanted to let you know, sis, that his grace is still upon you, regardless of your financial situation, regardless of what you're going through with your relationship, regardless of the lack of trust and faith you have in him. God has said, guess what? I'm still grace upon you. I am grace, God says. I am grace. My grace will never leave you. My grace will never forsake you. My grace is not connected to your bank account. It's not connected to your relationship. It's connected to your soul and your life. Every day that I give you, I wish I could keep going. Mother, God said, my grace is upon you. Look what you survived. Look what you survived. But you don't know my financial situation. But God said, mother, you should be in the lonely pen right now. All the stuff you've been through. Yes, his grace is upon you. Natalie, you survived the stuff you went through, the hurt, the wound that went. You survived it. Paisley, you survived living in the car. You survived not having a home. You survived the ex. You survived all of that stuff. But God said the reason you survived is because of my grace. You may not be rich. You may not be famous. Guess what? You may not be rich. That does not mean that I'm not a gracious father. Grace. line and stay right there. And we need to do a series on grace, okay?
Yeah.
Gracious Father. He says, I make the sun rise on the evil and on the good. Send rain on the just and the unjust. He's a gracious Father. What's the point of knowing these characteristics of God? Because what's the big idea? How I view God determines how I approach God. I'm trying to break the lie. I'm trying to remold, repaint the picture that was painted by your experience that God is some robber God, that he's some mean gangbanger God. But God is a Father. He said, I'm Abba. I'm Daddy. That's what God wants to be. He wants to be your dad. There's something personal about Daddy. You know, that's my Father. Everybody has a Father. But God says, I want to be your Daddy. So he say to somebody, say, shout, he's a gracious Father.
He's a gracious Father.
So we know he's a loving Father. We know he's a gracious Father. And number 3, he's a merciful Father. Somebody shout, merciful Father.
Merciful Father.
I know it's rudimentary to some, but I got to shift some thoughts while we continue on this prayer series. Luke 6:36. Luke 6:36. Be merciful, even as your Father is merciful. All right, what's our definition for merciful? Natalie knows it. Not getting what we do deserve. Write that down, keep that, put that on your phone, tattoo it on your left arm. Mercy. No, look at her, she's like, Mama, I told you I could get a tattoo, God approves of it. No, that's a lie. That's a lie, okay? Mercy is what? Not getting what you do deserve. Okay? Some of us see God and we see him as a God. All he does is punish us for everything that we do. That's a lie. Because trust me, if he punished you for every time you disobeyed him, you'd be dead right now. Many of us, we disobey God 4 times a day this whole entire week. Not me, I ain't sin, I ain't cuss, I ain't smoke. Well, guess what? You was in the elevator and God told you to tell somebody God loves you. Did you do it? No. How many times did God tell you to wake up? It was 5:45 and something on the inside said, get up, go pray, read your Bible, and you hit that snooze button. Like, no, I'm getting this 15 minutes. Guess what? You disobeyed. Right then, you deserve to be stoned. Disobedience cost in the Old Testament. But now, God says, I give more mercy. That's the God that we serve. You don't get everything that you deserve. You deserve so much more when it comes to the punishment. So don't look at God as just this mean God that all he does is punish me. That's why I lost my job, because God was punishing me. That's why the relationship didn't work out. That's why the marriage didn't work out, because God was punishing me because I wasn't perfect. That's why I got this, and that's why I'm sick, and that's why this happened. That's not how God works. That's a lie from the enemy. We have no scripture that lets us know that every time we do something wrong, we have some type of physical punishment. Yeah, that's consequences to sin, but God's mercy is so much bigger, it's so much greater, it's so much grander. It has more depth than the consequences that God ever gives us on this earth. The picture you painted of God, that's not him. God is a merciful God. The reason your mom and dad didn't divorce, the reason they divorced, it had nothing to do with God punishing you. The reason your dad wasn't there had nothing to do with him not punishing you. The reason why you put 50 applications in and you still don't have a job yet has nothing to do with God punishing you, because he's a merciful God. He's inviting you to have a personal relationship with him through prayer, but you can't see him as a God who punishes every mistake that you make, because what will happen? Satan will use that to stop you from walking in the room. God will be calling you and saying, I want to spend some quiet time with you, but Satan will use the mistake and you thinking that God is not a merciful God. He'll use that, and what will happen is you won't walk in the room. And God is like, in the room, I'm going to minister to you in there. In that room, when you get on your knees, I'm going to speak life into you. I'm going to comfort you. I'm going to wrap my arms around you. But if you don't see him as a merciful God, you'll stay out the room and you'll miss what he has for you. Somebody shout, he's a merciful Father. Two more and we out of here, and then we're going to pray, okay? Number 4, he's a caring Father. Somebody shout, caring Father. He's a caring Father. Some of us don't see God like that. He cares about other people. He definitely cares about that preacher. Just look at that car. He definitely cares about that worship leader because look how happy she is. Look at her job. He definitely cares about that children's worship director and pastor because look at all the blessings they have on their life. And he definitely cares about Minister Casey because look, she has all these expensive clothes on and has her hair done every other day. Man, that takes a lot of money. He definitely cares about her. There's no way that he cares about me. Pastor, there's no way. I don't care what you say, God cannot be a caring God. Look at my story. Look at all the stuff that happened to me. The book, I wrote it all down. I got a journal of all the stuff, all the hell that I went through my whole life. There's no way God can care about me. All the struggle that I had, there's no way. Matthew 18 and 14. Take this, somebody needs to memorize this later on. Somebody needs to read this every morning. So it is not the will of my Father who is in heaven that one of these little ones should perish. That story he's talking about the sheep and what God does when just one sheep leaves. Guess what he'll do? He'll go get it. We sing the song, what? He does what? He leaves the 99 for what? For one. That's what God does. And you're telling me he doesn't care about you? That he'll leave the ones that are safe. And you think that all God's favor and all God's blessings and all God cares about is those who serve him, those who are at church every time the doors are open, and then God sit here and says that I leave all the faithful ones just so I can go find you. That's what he says I do. And that's how he shows I do care about you. So he's like, you can come to me and pray. You can come to me and talk. Why? Because I actually do care about you. It's not your circumstances. It's not your situations. I do care about you. What happened to you, you see, there's a connection between what happened to you and the picture you painted of God. And that's what I'm trying to repaint because it's our experiences that forced us and caused us to see God in a certain light, but it's all a lie. It was somebody that was speaking to us that said there's no way God can care about you and all the stuff that you went through. Your baby daddy don't give you no money. Ain't no way God can care about you. Especially when you got a friend, baby daddy dropping hundreds. Well, God cares about her, but he don't care about me. I got my kids living in this small apartment, can't even buy them new clothes, and you sitting up here preaching, telling me God cares about me? How am I supposed to believe that? How am I supposed to believe what you say over what I see? But God proves, I'll leave everybody who's safe to come find the one that's in danger. That's how much he cares about you. Last one, number 5. Somebody shout, all-knowing Father. All-knowing Father. Hebrews 4 and 13. And no creature is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him to whom we must give account. No creature, some versions say no creation, no person is hidden from his sight, but all are naked and exposed to the eyes of him. God is an omniscient God. He knows everything. He said, I already know your problem. What does that have to do with prayer right there, Pastor? Because he's saying, I already know your struggles. I already know your problems. Come on, man, we're about to go. He says, I already know everything that you deal with. I know about it. I know what's going on in your relationship. I know the pain that you have from what you experienced. I know your childhood because I was watching. I'm the one that was protecting you. That's why you made it here. I know the wound. I know the hurt. The reason why you haven't jumped off the bridge is because I was the one holding you up. That's why you haven't jumped. That's why that night you were going to pop the whole bottle. I knew all of those things. It was me. You thought that you was just making the pros of popping the whole bottle and ending it all, the cons. You thought your cons outweighed the pros, so you decided it wasn't a good time No, it was God. God was in your thoughts. He was in your mind, and he was just moving your thoughts around. That caused you to see, this is not the end. God knows all things. Why wouldn't I want to have a prayer, personal relationship with a God who knows all about me and still loves me? Knows my flaws, knows my faults, knows my issues, and still loves me. Because there's a man, if he knew everything about you, he wouldn't love you. There's some woman, if she knew everything about you, she would love you. But God is saying, I know all of those things because I'm all-knowing. You can't hide anything from me. Yet and still, I'm inviting you to have a relationship with me through prayer. I know everything about you, and yet I'm inviting you in the room to have a personal relationship with me. He said, I want you to know me. I want you to get close to me. How many people, if they saw all your faults, they would say, yes, I want to be so close to you. I want to show you things about me that I've never shown you before. That's God. Even in spite of all the things I know about you. He says, I still want to show you parts of me, crevices of me that you've never seen before. I want you to go deeper. And I still know everything about you. And I still love and care. Stand to your feet.